Hi guys. So Meg and I have decided to just do these mini little videos for you to explain some of the things that we do regularly in our practice. So I chose crow because we really love this pose for many reasons. It's fun, you get to balance on your arms, which you guys all know that I love. But it's also very strengthening and we're working in a lot of the shapes that build into the rest of our flow. So before we start doing crow, I always suggest warming up a little. So we're going to start on our backs. And crow is a lot about getting, at least the version of crow that we're going to practice, that we always do practice, is a lot about getting our knees into our armpits. So we're going to lie down and do a little wind relieving pose. Inhale the right thigh into the belly and interlace the fingers on top of the right shin. And just as you're doing this pose, really picturing the right knee moving into the right armpit. And then if you'd like, you can extend the right heel out to the ceiling, interlace the fingers behind the right hamstring. Crow is a lot about being able to get the thighs into the belly, the knees into the armpits, and then we'll work a little bit later. You can bring that right leg down into feeling what we're doing in our upper body. But lower body is a lot about left knee into the belly, left knee into the armpit. It's a lot about this folded position. Option to lift that left heel up. Really just taking note of the thigh into the belly. And then give yourself a quick squeeze. Allow the thighs to come to the outside of the ribs. This is very much the crow shape in our legs. We haven't really worked into our core, into our upper body yet. And you can roll up. The second thing I definitely recommend doing before crow is warming up the wrists. You can roll one way, roll the other way. And then anything that might feel good for you, for your wrists. Fingers can point towards you, away from you, any which way. There's no real rules here. Just warming up because we very much will be supported by our arms. Then we're going to move forward to a cat-cow because this is really another foundation of the shape. We're working more into the upper body now. Inhale, lift the bum bones and the chin. This is the opposite shape. And then exhale, bum bones point down. You round the spine and look between your hands. We're going to pause here. So this is a really big feeling. You press into the palms. You feel your shoulder blades. They move away from each other across the upper back. So in this round shape, shoulder blades move away from each other across the upper back. I want you to look in front of your hands because in crow, we're always going to be looking in front of our hands because one of the principles of an arm balance is you're definitely going to look where you're going to go where you're looking. So if I'm looking behind me, I'm going to be taking all my weight off my hands. It's going to be very difficult for me to really lean, transfer weight into my fingers. So let's try another cat-cow so you can feel this. Inhale, lift your bum bones and your chin. Now exhale, this is the shape that we're working with, round. Looking in front of our hands. Now can you feel your core tone upward? Shoulder blades away from each other across the upper back. We're going to add on. Curl the toes under, lift the knees just to hover. Now this is working in our transfer of weight. Now if you can remember, the knees move into the armpits. We're just going to practice one leg at a time. Right knee into right armpit, look in front of your hands. This is very much preparing us for crow. And left knee into left armpit. Can you really pick it up? Feel that your hips, they're higher than your shoulders and back. Let's do one more each side. Can you really feel that your hips, they're lifting up above you? And last one, left knee into left armpit. And sit down. It's hard work. You can feel muscles across the upper back. Roll out the wrists. Maybe even inhale, reach up. Right hand grabs left wrist over a side stretch. Inhale back through center. Left hand grabs right wrist over to the left. now our hands come down, we're getting close. The feet down, just a forward fold. We have to warm up the hamstrings because again, this is our folded in half shape. Use your index middle finger, bend the knees to start. I'd actually prefer that you keep your knees bent so your belly can connect with your thighs, because that's very much the shape that we're working with for crow. Allow the forehead to relax. The crown of the head reaches down, elbows reach out to either side. So you can see that there's no space between my thighs and my belly. And that's what's really going to prepare us. One last little warm up. I want you to point your toes out to 10 and 2 and squat down. If this is not comfortable for you, you could use a yoga block, but you could also use a book. Household items in these times, and you can sit on it. If you choose, you could, if you have the actual block, get even higher, pick the higher side. Just sitting here again to think about these two principles, the lower body, knees into armpits. Again, we're working into the shape right here. And the upper body in crow is round through the upper back, shoulder blades separate, and we're definitely going to look in front of our hands. Those three things combine to a really, really strengthening, complementary arm balance for your vinyasa practice. So here we go, we're warm. So feet can be hip width apart. I want you to plant your palms and bend your knees. Feel again that your belly and your thighs are definitely connected. Heel toe your feet together. And then I want you to come down to your tippy toes. And then separate the knees so you can plug them right into the armpits. Now this actually might be your crow, and it's perfect. It's absolutely working all of the shapes, all of the strengthening without lifting your feet. You don't have to lift your feet. I'm gonna bend my elbows a little. I'm definitely looking in front of my fingers. I can actually see the weight into my fingers. Now I'm gonna feel that angry cat shape round through my upper back. Gaze is still in front of my fingers. I can choose to lift one foot. My core is toned, and I'm looking to the top of my yoga mat. And then I can put that foot down. I can lift my other foot and put it down. Now if you'd like to try to really pour weight into the fingers and lift both feet, you're welcome to. Don't forget about that angry cat shape. If you do lift both feet, I want you to bring your big toes together and lift your heels close to your bum. Can you feel that your hips are above the shoulders? This is a really nice, high, round, strengthening crow. You can come down for a rest. Maybe come onto the shins. Again, rolling out the wrists. Inhale, reach up. Right hand, left wrist, and over. Back through center, breath in. Exhale, left hand, right wrist, and over. Back through center. And come on down. So another thing that you might want to try if you're in between wanting to lift your feet and keep them on the ground, another way we can actually create a little height in our feet and our legs to feel that stacking on top is by placing a block or a book underneath our feet. So we'll just go through that one more time if you're curious. So bring the feet together, plant the palms, and you can see already for me, my hips are much higher. So this is getting into more of an inverted shape, and you don't have to lift your feet. So bend the knees enough that your palms are flat. Bring your knees into your armpits, or as close as you can get them. Round through your upper back, really like that angry cat shape, and you can stay here. Looking in front of your hands, pouring weight into the fingers, you can choose to lift one foot. You can choose to lift the other foot. Or if you're here, this is giving you, maybe this is your second round, you're more than welcome to try and lift both feet. down. Maybe even reach up. Nice to release out of the shoulders, cactus the arms. One more, circle out. And pull down. So I hope that was helpful. And I hope that when you're flowing, you know that you have all of those options to keep the feet down, to lift one foot, to use a block or a book, all just baby steps. And it depends on the day, it can be different every day. And then maybe if you're just thinking about crow, the lower body, your knees are moving into the armpits, and your upper body is really strong, round, and your core is toned. And definitely when you begin, your arm balances, your crow, anything else upside down, you want to be looking at your fingertips or just past your fingertips. Keep you moving in that direction. Have a good day, guys.